There are plenty of compact 9mm pistols on the market. Quality varies with the price, and some simply feel better in the hand than others. That's an important consideration, regardless of price. I have owned the Bersa Thunder Pro Ultra-Compact 9mm for several years. The Bersa was fired at the range for function testing after it was checked out, and it simply went back into the safe until I decided to do this review of it. Bersa guns are manufactured in Argentina, so they may not be all that familiar to American shooters. With that said, I was immediately impressed with the fit, feel, and quality of this gun when I first picked it up at a local gun show. Unlike some competing 9mm compacts, the Bersa offered a solid, hand-filling grip, and it felt worthy enough for purchase. This was not my first Bersa. The Bersa Thunder Pro Ultra-Compact 9mm simply followed a line of Bersa purchases: a Bersa Thunder 380, a Bersa Thunder 380 Plus, and a Bersa Thunder 45 UC Pro that I carried for quite a while, and is still within arm's reach should it need to be called upon. Up front, I will mention that the Thunder 9 UC Pro is no longer available. It seems to have been replaced by the TPR 9C, but talking about one is very similar with talking about the other. As I mentioned in the introduction, unlike some competing 9mm compacts, the Bersa offers a solid hand-filling grip. This is, in part, thanks to its double-stack 13-round magazine that aids in control and which makes it easy to hold the gun on target. The front end is not all that impressive, but the slide and frame are slightly beveled. The frame is CNC machined from a tough, lightweight alloy, while the slide is blued steel. A Picatinny rail at the muzzle accommodates aftermarket laser sights and high-intensity lights. This rail has dimensions that comply with MIL 1913. And is designed to support standard accessories. An uninvited intruder seeing a ruby red or green dot dancing on his chest may be a sufficient deterrent to end the matter without a shot being fired. If you're forced to pull the trigger, I can't think of a better sight for low-level shooting. Measuring 6.5 inches in length and tipping the scales at 23 ounces, this is not a petite firearm. It's bulkier and heavier than many of the 9mm pocket pistols on the market. The left side of the slide contains the Thunder 9 UC Pro markings, and just below that on the frame is the manufacturer's country of origin and the pistol serial number. The right side of the slide has all manner of markings related to the importer. The barrel's chamber has the caliber and serial number. The Thunder Pro Ultra-Compact is less concealable than some pistols, but provides a reassuringly solid grip and a big gun feel. It fits very comfortably in my hand and aims very naturally. Forget carrying it in a pocket though. This gun cries out for a holster. I'll talk about that later. Size-wise, the Bersa Thunder Pro Ultra-Compact 9mm is similar to a Glock G26. And that is the only comparison that I can make between the two. Bersa's Ultra-Compact incorporates an improved Browning petter barrel locking system. This provides highly reliable feeding and dependable ejection. It's unusual for any new pistol to run flawlessly right out of the box, but the Bersa managed this feat, as you will see in the range session. You will notice that on the right side of the frame, integrated nicely, is the external hammer strut. As the trigger is pulled when in double action mode, the strut moves forward and stays forward as long as the trigger is pressed. In single action mode, the strut is forward as long as the hammer is cocked and remains forward until the trigger is released after the final shot. A hand-filling checkered polymer grip coupled with finger grooves up front made this gun very pleasing in my hand. It also points very naturally. In my hand, the grip magazine extension just catches my little finger, giving it a place to rest. The grip can be replaced. A screw at the bottom of the grip can be turned to remove or install the grip. The pistol has a mild beaver tail to help protect the hand from hammer bite, something of which I am prone to with my high hold on the handle and a mildly fleshy web of the hand. I have found that the Bersa Thunder9 UC Pro better protects my hand than does the Bersa Thunder 45 UC Pro. I have been hammer bitten several times with the latter and have the scars to prove it, along with those from a 1911 and 1911A1. The Bersa Thunder9 UC Pro does a pretty good job at preventing hammer bite. The thumb-operated safety and extended slide release are ambidextrous and easy to reach. The thumb-operated safety is also a decocking lever, lowering the hammer when pushed up into the safe position, an operation that I find easier by using the thumb or forefinger of the support hand. Placing the safety in the up safe position with the strong hand, the right hand in my case, takes a concerted effort, and I must change my grip to do so. I prefer my tried and true method of decocking the Bersa over fumbling with the decocker. I'll talk about my method later. To move the thumb safety down into the fire position, however, takes very little effort from either hand. The magazine release button is also ergonomically located, and you can reach it without altering your grip on the pistol. While this control is located on the left side, it can be easily switched to the opposite side for left-handed operators. The front of the contoured trigger guard is squared off and grooved to provide solid seating for the offhand's index finger. This is a feature I appreciate at times, as it does aid a natural two-handed hold that helps stabilize the aim. The Bersa's open sights feature the familiar 3-dot aiming system. Windage adjustments are possible by drifting the rear sight or the front sight blades sideways in their dovetails. No provision is made for altering elevation. Located on the right side of the slide, the gun's external extractor throws empties clear with alacrity. A loaded chamber indicator above and behind the ejection port can be checked visually or by feel to determine whether or not a round is chambered. Fully cut serrations are provided at the rear of the slide to aid in pushing or pulling the slide to the rear for locking it into place or releasing it into battery. The pistol comes supplied with two 13-round magazines. A mechanical means to load the magazine is a big help, as the follower springs are pretty stout. Magazines insert smoothly into the well and eject sharply when the release button is pressed. If you ever need a combat reload, this is a real plus. The slide and frame fit snugly together. No shake or wobble is evident. The Thunder Pro Ultra-Compact functions smoothly from the first time I tried it, thanks in part to the full-length guide rails inside the frame that hold the slide securely for a tight lockup and consistent operation. Once you fire the first shot in double action mode, the gun shifts to single action mode. The SA trigger comes back smoothly, with noticeable stacking just before the hammer falls. Double action trigger pull weight is a smooth 11 pounds 6.6 ounces with a 5-pull average. I don't mind a reasonably heavy trigger. It helps prevent accidental firing in the excitement of the moment. Single action trigger pull measured out at 3 pounds 12.4 ounces with a 5-pull average and exhibits only the barest hint of creep. The gun isn't striker fired. It features the reliable, time-honored hammer and firing pin system. In all sincerity, I prefer a hammer-fired firearm over an internal striker. Security for the pistol is provided by 2 locks, both of which are trigger locks. The first lock is the key lock that is located on the left side of the frame. A special key is provided by Bersa, and if you have locked the trigger, it is a key that you don't want to lose, as you must contact Bersa for a replacement. Turning the key counterclockwise effectively locks the trigger in place. Turn the key clockwise to make the trigger operational. The second lock is the trigger lock, a 4-piece unit consisting of 2 side pieces, a retaining screw, and special key. Well, that pretty much wraps up the features, but before I take you to the range, I need to talk about pre-flight operations. In other words, maintenance. Disassembly is simple and straightforward. With the hammer cocked and with the magazine removed, hold the slide firmly while pressing the slide lock lever down, and then slowly allow the slide to go into battery. Rotate the disassembly latch down 90 degrees. You will feel the slide release. Pull or push the slide barrel assembly, which includes the recoil spring and guide, forward and off of the frame. Remove the recoil springs and guide rod. The guide rod has 2 full-length recoil springs surrounding it, one inside the other. Remove the barrel from the slide from the rear. That's it for the disassembly. Clean the inside of the barrel with your favorite solvent using your favorite barrel cleaning tools. Use a soft bristle or nylon brush of proper size to clean the slide and slide guide, removing dirt and debris of propellant combustion. Special care should be taken when cleaning around the firing pin area. Lubricate the firearm with a quality lubricant. Only a small layer of lubricant should be applied, especially where there are signs of friction, where slidey parts rub together. Reassembly is in the reverse order. There are no witness marks to line up or anything that needs to be juggled into place. I wish all the pistols I own were this easy to field strip and put back together. Some are a real headache to service. Install the barrel and recoil components into the slide from the rear. Line up the slide assembly to the frame and push or pull to the rear until the alignment notch in the slide is above the disassembly lever, which should be in the down position. When the alignment notch in the slide is above the disassembly lever, simply move the disassembly lever to the up position, which locks the slide into place. Cycle the slide several times to check for ease of slide movement. Now, let's move on to a function check. I use at least 2 snap caps to check function, extraction, ejection, safety functions, and locking back on an empty magazine. Snap caps protect the firing pin and firing pin stop during the process. Install snap caps into a magazine. Install the magazine into the pistol. Cycle the slide to chamber the first snap cap, and then proceed with the function check. Note that the chamber-loaded indicator at the top of the slide will be up, indicating that there is a round chambered. Note also that the hammer is in the full cock position, and the thumb safety is down, thus placing the pistol in a firing condition. Pull the trigger, the hammer will fall, thus placing the pistol in double action mode. Pull the trigger again, the hammer will cock as the trigger is being pulled and will release once the trigger reaches the trip point. With the hammer down, place the thumb safety in the up, safe position. Pull the trigger. The trigger will free float and will not cock the hammer. Pull the hammer to the rear. The trigger will move with the hammer movement, but the hammer will not cock. Slowly allow the hammer to go forward in a controlled manner. Place the thumb safety in the down fire position. Cock the hammer. The hammer will remain in the cocked position. Place the thumb safety in the up safe position. The hammer will fall to the safe position. This tests the decocking mechanism. As before, the trigger will only free float with the thumb safety in this position. Move the thumb safety to the down fire position. Cycle the slide as many times as needed to extract and eject the snap caps. The slide will lock back on the empty magazine. This completes the function check. If any function check fails, do not attempt to shoot the pistol. Seek professional help, as you have an unsafe firearm. Now, let me show you an alternate approach for decocking the pistol that you might find useful. There are two methods to decock the Bersa Thunder 9 UC Pro. The first is using the decocking safety lever, as explained previously. The second is a tried and true method that is normally reserved for single-action only pistols, like a 1911 or Browning High Power, for example. This method involves two fingers, the forefinger and middle finger, and the thumb. Either hand can be used. With the shooting hand finger completely clear of the trigger, the pistol is pointed in a safe direction. When the pistol is cocked, sandwich the hammer between the middle finger and thumb, while placing the forefinger on the face of the hammer. Hold the hammer firmly while the trigger finger pulls the trigger all the way to the rear. The hammer will be released. Control the descent of the hammer until it rests in the safety position. This places the pistol in double action mode, which is a preferred mode to carry a double action pistol. Hammer against the safety block with a live round chambered. The pistol can be made even safer by pushing the thumb safety to the up safe position. Some folks, like myself, who are thoroughly familiar with operating a thumb safety, usually forego the extra safety measure, as the double action trigger pull is heavy enough to warrant not using the thumb safety. Now that the pre-flight checks are out of the way, let's get to the range. The carry method recommended by Bersa when live ammunition is involved is with the hammer down, the thumb safety on, and a live round chambered. However, the Bersa can be carried with a live round chambered, the hammer down, and the thumb safety down in the fire position. Since the Bersa is a double-action single-action pistol, the pistol is safe to carry in the double-action mode, safety off, due to the heavy trigger pull and internal safeties that prevents the firing pin from reaching the primer of a live cartridge should the firearm be dropped. Now, what about carry containers? Well, let's get into that. I have found that my Gelco Classic Light 2.0 that I use for my Glock G19, G26, G36, and G23 also work well with the Bersa Thunder9 UC Pro. A minor adjustment with the holster and mag carrier tensioning screws to take up some of the looseness quickly provides me an alternative for various comparable size pistols. For a strong side IWB hip carry, a well-worn, modified, and dedicated holster from Crossbreed Holsters works well. Do your research, and I am sure that you will find a holster just right for your needs. Now, I'll move on to my final thoughts on the Bersa Thunder9 Ultra-Compact Pro. The Bersa Thunder9 Ultra-Compact Pro is a pistol for the budget-minded individual. Although now replaced with the RP9, the pistol can still be found and is one I can put my recommendation behind. It is a very good-looking pistol with its styling, but very handy in the hand when shooting. It has good balance, is an excellent pointer, and carries ammunition that should put a halt to any immediate threat. While I would have no qualms carrying it as a PDA, personal defense assistant, I must say that there are plenty of pistols that can serve in that role. Need a good truck gun? Or a just-in-case gun? A gun to have handy while floating around fishing in waters that are also known to have snakes like water moccasins and cottonmouths, or as a backup firearm during a zombie outbreak. The Bersa Thunder9 Ultra-Compact Pro is reliable and accurate enough to take care of business. I have found all Bersa pistols to be quality built for the money paid. I had better, as I carried the Bersa Thunder 45 Ultra-Compact Pro on my hip for quite a while, and it is within arm's reach should it ever be needed. Well, my friends, this ends this chapter in the Range Running Chronicles. I hope that you found it informative. Will I see you again? I hope so, because there are more gun and gear reviews to be produced on this channel. Until you invite me into your home again, be vigilant, be armed, and be safe.